Hello and welcome back to the Simpl Beauty Podcast. My name is Monica. I'm your licensed esthetician and sugaring specialist. And today we're going to be talking about what to do after your sugaring appointment. So our last video touched a lot about the aftercare procedures that we do recommend here at Hyrani Institute. And today we're going to be going a little bit more in depth about some of the frequently asked questions that I get after sometimes your first sugaring appointment, or even after a couple sugaring appointments, you still have questions. So we're going to go over those today. So we did talk about this in our last episode, but we're going to go over this again. So the first number one question that I usually get asked is about workouts after your sugaring appointment. So for workouts, you are going to be sweating a lot. And keep in mind that perspiration is going to react with the bacteria on the skin and cause irritation after the sugaring treatment, because your skin is a little bit irritated and it is a little bit open after the sugaring treatment for a couple of hours. So I do recommend to avoid working out for at least 24 hours after your sugaring appointment. So if you're gonna have a workout class right after your sugaring appointment, probably not a good idea. If you have like a sauna session right after your sugaring appointment, probably not a good idea. I would skip all of that and I would wait until the next day. Maybe it's not exactly 24 hours, but at least until the next day, so your skin has a couple hours to really calm down, to really soothe some of that inflammation from the inside out, and you're not going to be putting yourself at risk for increased bacteria and increase your chances of getting irritation and ingrown hairs. All right, and then another question that I do get asked a lot is about going into water. So a lot of my clients, they're actually coming in because they're going to the beach or they have a pool party or something like that. So this is a super common question. And the answer is that there's actually no restrictions on getting in the water after your sugaring appointment, but that does have a few caveats. The first caveat is going to be pool chemicals and salt and any other kind of skin irritant that's going to be present during the activity that you're doing. So if you're going to be getting in the pool, and if it is a chlorine treated pool or jacuzzi, you're going to want to be careful, especially within the first 24 hours after your sugaring treatment, because those chemicals can be a skin irritant. So if your pores are still really fresh and open from that procedure, sometimes getting into the chlorinated pool or jacuzzi may be really irritating for you. So if you do get into the pool or jacuzzi after your treatment and you feel irritation, I would just recommend getting out right away and rinsing off with soap and water. And that's really just gonna get all those chemicals off so that it'll stop the irritation. With that being said, a lot of pools nowadays, they are treated with salt water instead, which is actually no problem. That pretty much is not gonna irritate the skin as much as the chlorine will, because it's not as harsh. So just keep in mind, I'm sure that the salt water still can irritate some people, especially if it's within that 24-hour window. So just be careful about how your skin's feeling. Be really mindful with your body and just check in with your skin and see if you're getting irritated. But getting in the water in general is not an issue after sugaring. Now, if you are going to the beach, that's also not a problem. But keep in mind that there are also some potential irritants that are on the beach. So getting in the water, just be careful of that. Make sure that you're not getting irritated. Typically, for most of my clients, it's not an issue. But with the sand, that can actually be a little bit of an issue as well. If you're getting in the sand and you're like rolling around in the sand, it's basically like an exfoliator for your skin. So if you're getting like too much sand on your skin when it's freshly sugared, yes, that can actually be irritating. So you just want to be mindful of that. Don't go crazy, just be mindful of how soon you sugared before your visit to the beach, and just try to avoid any of those potential irritants. But usually getting in the water, and then if you could rinse off or just dry off after that and relax, then it's no problem. Okay, and then piggybacking off of the workouts, this is another question that I get asked a lot and something that I just recommend to all my clients. So after your sugaring session, obviously your skin is a little bit inflamed, a little bit irritated possibly. So wearing those really tight like panties or underwear after your Brazilian particularly, that's going to be really irritating. So you're going to want to avoid that. The really tight yoga pants, especially synthetic fabrics, anything that's really stretchy, that's going to be synthetic. Lace underwear, that's another huge culprit of creating irritation. So avoid that. If you can come to your appointment with baggy clothes or 100% cotton underwear, that's going to be more beneficial to you. Or if you just want to get home and just put on those loose pants, You can even like wear shorts without underwear just to let your skin breathe for a little bit. That's really going to help as well. All right, and then for underarm sugaring, you do want to avoid wearing deodorant for that rest of the day after your session. So the ingredients in your deodorant may be an irritant. So we're not sure what's in the deodorant. We definitely want to avoid any of those potential irritants after the sugaring. So just wait until the next day. We do use botanical water after your treatment, which kind of acts like a natural deodorant. So most clients have no complaints and they feel really fresh after their sugaring anyway, so it's usually not a need right after. All right, and then we talked about this a little bit already, but when can I shower? So you can shower right away after your sugaring. Some people do prefer that as well, because if there's any residue, such as powder on the skin after the treatment, which can potentially be there after your sugaring treatment, then it's nice to rinse that away. And then you can reapply any of your aftercare products at home if you do have those, and make sure you follow up with that moisturization step. And then as far as exfoliation goes, I get this question a lot. How soon after the treatment can I exfoliate, and when should I start exfoliating? So the answer to that is that you want to wait at least a couple days after your treatment, because if you start exfoliating too soon, it's not going to be beneficial to you. You don't need to exfoliate yet after the treatment because we just exfoliated. So you do want to wait at least a couple days. Some people can wait up to a full week depending on your skin type, but at least minimum 3 days that you want to wait until you start exfoliating, because we don't want to aggravate the skin. We just did a hair removal treatment. We just exfoliated when you came in. So once you go home, just do your moisturization, let it breathe, let it rest. And then after that 3 days, up to 7 days, then you can start. All right, and then this tip only applies for facial sugaring. So after you come in, either for your full face, lip, chin, or eyebrows, you are going to want to be careful with the products that you do use on your face. So if you are a retinol user, fellow retinol users, please stand up. No. Yeah, so if you use retinol, you do want to be careful, since that is an exfoliating product and it is pretty intense. So first, before your appointment, you should be avoiding that at least a week before. And then after, you do want to avoid it for at least a week after as well. So 5 to 7 days after the treatment, don't apply in the area that we sugared. And that's going to reduce any risk for, irritation during the service. So sometimes people who are like over exfoliators, you will notice that you will have those red bumps after the treatment for, maybe 2 hours. If you avoid your retinols and your, like strong HA, BHA exfoliators for before and after, for that week before and after, then you won't see as much irritation, because the skin has a chance to rebuild itself and create that layer of protection that you do want for the sugaring service. All right, so those are my top tips. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but I just wanted to make a quick episode and give these topics some attention. So if you guys have any other questions or any other, comments, or maybe you're curious about certain activities for after sugaring, if it's a yes, if it's a no, then definitely shoot me a message and we can go over that in our next episode. But anyways, I hope you got a lot of value out of this quick little episode, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.